Our next guest is going to be so proud of me.
What'd you do?
Well, I met Shep Hyken through keynote speaking, and he's one of the most prolific keynote speakers in the country. He's one of the guys that I consider not only a friend, but a mentor. And one of the things he taught me very early on was when you get contacted by a speaker's bureau or an event planner, you respond immediately. Not, oh, I'm going to wait a minute. I got an email yesterday at 3 o'clock, and at 3.00.30, I responded back with my domestic keynote fee, saying fully commissionable, what my travel thing was, and I got the gig overnight as a result of it. Huh? You got your proud papa there, Shep?
Look at that.
I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. And I have a great story that goes almost the same. And by the way, people are blown away. They'll say, I didn't even hit the send button. You already responded. But one of the reasons,
right?
Yeah, a friend of mine who is a friendly competitor did not get the gig, and the client simply said they didn't respond as quickly as you did.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Well, and what's funny is I'm being asked more and more. I think keynote speaking is back, and they can't decide whether they want to talk about negotiation of the economy or a thing I call the 1 hour advantage or living your life in 15-minute increments. So, and what's interesting is, you know, there's a bevy of people that can talk about what we talk about, right? There's not just us. And when an event planner goes to a speaker's bureau, they're offering up what's going to make them look the best and serve the client's needs the best. And then you got to float to the top of that. But what I'm finding very interesting is keynote speaking and events are coming back in such fervor post-COVID that they're just getting the deal booked and conducting their due diligence ahead of time, as opposed to what it was like a number of years ago, where you went through a vetting process, then you went through an interview, and then a pre-interview, and then you went through a final interview with the client. And the last 3 deals, I haven't had to do that at all. And I don't know if that's changing or not, Shep. Is that just luck of the draw, or is that just the way the industry's going?
Two or three things. Number one is the clients book toward the last minute. It's like 3 months, 2 months, where it used to be 6 months to a year, maybe even longer. That's number one. Number two, because of the internet, they can do a lot of due diligence before it ever gets to the committee. Somebody who's assigned to choose 5 or 6 speakers to consider narrows it down to 1 or 2 almost immediately before they hand it off to the decision makers. And number three, like I say, quick to respond, show them what you got, show the level of professionalism. It builds confidence. By the way, this is appropriate for any business.
This
not
is
just
customer service. This is customer service is what we're talking about here. I'm making myself high speed, low drag, easy use, and that's really what the customer is looking for in this case, right? So we can apply this anywhere, correct?
Everywhere. Frictionless is the goal.
Your first sort of resolution for 2025 customer service resolutions is respond quickly.
Yeah.
It's critical, I believe.
It's so easy and it's table stakes. And by the way, those resolutions, I actually kind of made a joke about it. They really shouldn't even be resolutions. They're just table stakes. And every one of these is free. They don't cost anything. How much does it cost to respond quickly?
Nothing.
A thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Shep Hyken, Chief Amazement Officer, Shepherd Presentations. He's a customer service expert, also a leading keynote speaker in the country. He's the author of the book, I'll Be Back, How to Get Customers
Among others.
Back Again and Again. Yeah, this is like one of the 58 books he has.
He's also a guitar aficionado. We need to get you in San Diego, Shep, again here.
Yeah.
I want to play. I want to play with the band.
Anytime. All you do is come out.
Shep, one thing I noticed, particularly around the holidays when it was really busy, and if I had customer service issues with items that I purchased, I would get an almost immediate response if I emailed customer service. They would reply immediately and say, we've gotten your email, we hear you, we are a little backed up because it's the holidays and we will get back to you within 24 hours, or they gave the window to when I would expect. So is this kind of in line with what you're saying, that they want to give us that we hear you right away, even if they can't come back with the answer right away?
Yeah, and that's number one, is show them that they received. Number two, did they respond in the time they promised?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're asking me. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They
and I paid attention.
Right.
I said, I do that boomerang effect where I send the email back to myself to see if they've replied in the time, and they did.
Yep. So tell them you're gonna make them wait, and then don't be late.
I think remember, where this stuff went off the rails is when service bureaus came out Shep, I think, when we saw call centers come out, as opposed to calling Sears and Roebuck and asking about the $30 charge on your Sears Roebuck charge card and getting somebody in Chicago, Illinois 60609 building out there. Instead, now a lot of this is serviced out. How reasonable is it for us to see as customers things that we want to see as small businesses? Because it's easy as a small business, I think, to tell your employees to treat your customers the way you want to be treated, to create an employee advisory board, so on and so forth. But what about top-down type stuff that we deal with every single day? The Visas of the world that we have to call, the the UPSs of the world that we have to call, so on and so forth.
And so your question is, like, they're offshoring and having an outsourced customer experience?
Is it moving back to more personable experiences?
Well, I think it is, number one, it is moving back towards more personable experiences because AI allows the rep to get data on you from your prior experiences with the company. So if you're talking to a company you've bought from before, the rep should know, hey, thanks for doing business. So they're able to personalize it. Number two, if they do decide to outsource, not necessarily offshore, but outsource and subcontract that service experience to an outside call center, if you will, those people need to be properly trained. The company needs to do its due diligence and determine, is this the experience that I want my customers to have? And it should be seamless. The customer should never know they're dealing with somebody that's not part of the company.
Shep, this is a situation that I've encountered a couple of times, and I've always wondered, and I'm glad maybe you can answer for me. If I get somebody and I know that I've called a call center, and I literally cannot understand what they are saying to me, is it okay to say, listen, I can't understand what you're saying. Can you please pass me on to another phone attendant?
I mean, I've had that said just recently where there's a thick accent, and it's tough sometimes. And by the way, they think we have a thick accent too because I was trying to read my email address back.
They'd be saying the same
so I think
thing
it's
to me.
I get a little Karen.
How do you play that?
I think it's reasonable to be friendly and make the request. But this is what's really cool. There is new technology that turns that thick accent, and by the way, to them, they don't have the accent to your point, but whatever accent they do have, it will turn it in to match the accent you have.
No
Are
way.
you from New York? Are you from Mississippi? And you're talking to somebody over
Who am I
in India
talking
or
to
the
here?
Philippines.
Do you know who I am? Shep Hyken, Chief Amazement Officer, one of the greatest keynote speakers out there.
Love you,
author of
brother.
many
Thank
books,
you, man. Can't wait to see you.
including I'll Be Back. Shep, thank you for the time.